Hi guys, it's Miss Witt. You are seeing me on this video because I am homesick today. Bleh. What I wanted to teach you today was what we missed on Thursday, which was how to take notes like a boss. So you've just practiced taking notes about the United States and New Zealand, and I know that some of you guys you did some really good things. You picked out some really important information from the text. And you've some of it was formatted well, but probably there are some traps that all of you fell into when taking your notes that I want you to avoid. So I am going to share my screen and go through how I want you to be taking notes. So here is how to take notes like a boss. So with your notes, I do not want to see complete sentences in your notes. When I look at your notes, it should not look like a paragraph. So I would like it to be bulleted, just like I did with the slideshow. All right, you can see where the new pieces of information are. And the words, the text in this slideshow is kind of short and sweet. As you can see on the slide, I use these circles or called bullets. You can also use stars or dashes, triangles, just some way so that I know when each new piece of information starts. You also want your notes to be in phrases, not complete sentences. So what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to copy whole sentences from the source because that is way too much work. I don't want you to do that much work. Notes should be easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I don't want you to copy whole sentences from the text. You are pulling out the most important piece of information from a sentence and writing that down. And your notes need to include the important stuff from the source from about your topic. Probably some of you out there wrote down the United States in your notes. When you're taking notes, you don't have to write down the name of your topic. So when you write your notes on your country, don't write down the name of the country because we already know that everything in your notes is about your country. Okay? When you read a sentence, pick out what is the important information from that sentence and write down only that information and not the whole sentence. Another tip to kind of help write in phrases and not complete sentences is to start with a year. So if you want to write down when the United States was founded, instead of writing the United States was founded in 1776, just write 1776 founded, right? So you took a whole sentence and turned it into two words essentially. Or if something else happened, you start with a verb, and then that would be your note. You also are wanting to rewrite the information in your own words as much as possible. Sometimes you're writing down, especially with this project, just a fact, a piece of information. So you will be taking things right from the text, but as much as you can, try and rephrase things in your own words. If you don't know what something means, figure out what it means before writing it down, right? Look up any words that you don't know or understand. Ask a friend, ask myself, ask Miss Beck. Figure out the big idea or the gist of the sentence and then write that down instead of writing down a whole big piece of information that you don't understand. So I'm going to give you an example here. The source said that you guys just looked at the United States of America is the world's third largest country in size and the third largest in terms of population. So there is a lot of information in that sentence that you do not need. So take a minute to think about, maybe pause the video if you want. What information can you get rid of from that sentence? All right, I'm assuming now you've talked about what you can get rid of in that sentence. There's a whole lot that can go, right? Remember, we don't need to write the United States of America. And we can even shorten some things up. So I ended up turning this sentence into 2 different bullets, 2 short and sweet bullets. Third largest country, size, third largest population, right? So there's a lot of words in that sentence that you can get rid of that don't need to end up in your notes, okay? So I want you guys with your table groups to pause and try and rewrite this note as a group. You can grab whiteboards and whiteboard markers, or just take a piece of paper with your group. And I want you to pause the video and read through this sentence. What would you write down in your notes? And work with your table group to figure out what note you would write for this sentence. All right, I'm assuming you guys now have written those out and kind of shared out as a class what you came up with. So if you guys are like the other classes that I've had, a lot of you guys had the gist totally right, right? The big idea of this sentence is that the United States has varied landscapes, right? So you could write that as a note. That would be great. I rewrote it as diverse landscapes. And then I also wrote the different landscapes that it included, right? So diverse landscapes, including tropical beaches, mountains, prairies, deserts, and dense forests, right? Because having different kinds of landscapes could mean a lot of different things, right? Like if you're studying a country in South America, a country in South America could have mountains and rainforests, and that could also be diverse or varied landscapes. We don't have rainforests in the US. So I listed those landscapes, and I also then would have that information so that when I went to make a slideshow, I would be able to be like, okay, I want to show some of the different landscapes in the US, and now I have a list of things I could include. So we already kind of did this note. Canada is the second largest country in the world by area, second largest country by area, right? Took out most of the words in that sentence. Don't need Canada is or the or in the world. Another example, Canada is slightly larger than the United States, its southern neighbor, but only has 1/9 as many people. So I gave you a couple different examples for how you could just rewrite the gist. Bigger than US, but less people. Bigger than US, but 1/9 as many people. More land than US, but way less people, right? All 4 of those are saying the same thing, or the 3 notes plus the sentence are all saying the same thing. So when I look at your notes, again, it shouldn't look like a paragraph. It should just be kind of a bulleted list of pieces of information. So here are my note-taking quick tips. And what I would like you guys to do, I had asked for you guys to have a spiral notebook on the supply list. So you guys should somewhere either in your binder or in your locker have a spiral notebook. So if you have that, go ahead and get it out. And if you need to go grab it from your locker, that is okay. So you want to grab your notebook, label it with your name, social studies class number, so social studies section number, and social studies. So it's like mine would say Miss Witt, social studies section 1, 2, 3, and 5. So you want to label it with your name, social studies, and your section number. And then on the first page of your notebook, you should write these note-taking quick tips. And then after you've written those, go ahead and go back to the practice notes that you did and kind of correct anything that you messed up, right? So take what you wrote, and turn it into the format that I'm asking for. And then you guys will move on to picking your countries, and there's another short video to show too. Hope you guys have a good class.